Hey folks, are you thinking about moving to Oregon, or maybe you're even already living here and you're looking for an example way to spend a day? Well, welcome to Oregon Outings on this edition of Oregon Relocation Guide. I'm Michael Krasilovsky with Team K Realty out of Remax in Corvallis, Oregon, and this is part of a fun playlist we're putting together to show you ways to spend a day in the gorgeous Mid-Willamette Valley in this case. Today, it's going to be all about going to Tillamook Creamery as well as a bunch of other stops. Stay tuned. All right, we're going to be driving quite a bit north today from the Mid-Valley because today's Oregon outing is all about getting to Tillamook Creamery for cheese and ice cream. But we've got some stops along the way. Creek Artichokes, fantastic. Blue Heron French Cheese Company, love it. Tillamook Creamery, the star of the day. We're going to follow that up with some beef jerky at the Tillamook Country Smoker Outlet, and then Myrtlewood Factory Outlet where we can get some wood. And then we're going to stop at the beach, Cape Lookout State Park. Be sure to bring a cooler for cheeses and treats. We're basically driving to Portland from Corvallis. It's about an hour and 45 minutes to Bear Creek Artichokes, but we're going towards the coast instead of up into Portland. All right, so Bear Creek Artichokes is a wonderful place to stop and get breakfast on a day like this or on a trip like this. It's hard to describe. It's kind of like a farm stand. It's kind of like a boutique. It's also kind of like a venue and a restaurant. In fact, the day we were there, we not only got snacks and hung out there and got some plants, but there were musicians playing, and we hung out outside for a while too. We really enjoy their artichoke dip and crackers, and as you can imagine, Bear Creek Artichokes has some good artichoke products. They've got lots of plants for sale and color bowls and baskets. I mean, it really is a neat destination. It's a very versatile destination in that regard. Let's see. This is also part of their boutique because they sell a lot of clothing there, wine, jams and jellies, produce, all sorts of stuff. The cherries you're going to notice are from California, but they are related, literally. This family has got relatives in California with a cherry farm, if that's the right word for it, and they even sell cherry wine here made from those cherries down in California. So, really neat place to check out. You're going to love their scrumptious desserts, their pizzas, their scones. Oh my gosh, it is a really fun part of the day. There's those cherries. From there, we're going to go about 10 or 15 minutes north to Blue Heron French Cheese Company. And at this point, now we are in Tillamook. We're just down the street from Tillamook Creamery. So Blue Heron French Cheese Company, this is also a really lovely place to get a meal and sit in their garden or even enjoy a wine tasting. So if you don't end up getting breakfast at Bear Creek Artichokes, this is a very viable option for you. This place was packed the day we got there. There were a lot of people inside, and so we're going to show you some footage outside to set the scene, and then show you some screenshots like this on the inside. We did not want to take a camera in there and have people show up in our YouTube video without their permission. So it's a really neat boutique. It's a really neat venue. You can see they've got like a deli and sandwiches and chocolates and wine, and it's lovely. This separate building has been an art gallery in the past. It's now currently set up as a candy store, so that was actually a pretty fun place to go get some like wacky, nostalgic candy. And they also have a petting zoo outside, so if you have smaller children, or if you're just into petting zoos, it was a really neat setup. Don't miss it. Definitely check it out. Up the road, we are now getting to the star of the day, which is Tillamook Creamery. This is one of Oregon's favorite cheese factories, and this truly is a destination. This is the kind of place that I'm pretty sure local schools take field trips to even. This is not just a place to sample cheese. So they've got some wonderful information displays, and they really do have a lot of really neat things you can learn about Oregon agriculture and the cheese making process. This is a place you're going to want to spend some time. One of these, you can see some weirdo there pretending to be a cow. They also had some mock-ups where you can pretend to milk a cow, and it's fun. And they have a large cafe. It's a wonderful place to get cheeseburgers and sandwiches and fries, etc., ice cream and milkshakes, and this elevator even smells like cheese. Maybe. You can see the cheese plant, of course, and yes, you know it, there's a lot of cheese samples here too. And I gotta say, they have some information and a video playing about the cheese process that was extremely well done, very high production quality. You will actually learn a lot and find it interesting. There's those cheese samples. We love their ice cream and their milkshakes here. This is probably my favorite mint chocolate chip ice cream. Best in my opinion, so if you have the same taste as me, you'll love it. And they've got a large gift shop and to-go area. So there's that mint chocolate chip ice cream sandwiches, actually. And you're gonna really enjoy this place. And they have charcuterie options to go, so bring your cooler. Up the street, a few minutes just further up the road, get some beef jerky here at Tillamook Country Smoker Factory Outlet. This is less of a destination. It's not like it's a big facility here that you walk into. It's very different than Tillamook Creamery, but their beef jerky is really good. And it's fun to go to the place where you're like, oh, yeah, this is what I buy in the store. That bag of imperfect jerky for $10 was delightful and made for a wonderful addition to the mini road trip of the day. Up the street, the Myrtlewood Factory Outlet was a really fun stop as well. Myrtlewood is really neat. If you're not familiar with Myrtlewood, it is found in Oregon and the California coast, and also in Israel, if I recall correctly. We have a very Mediterranean climate here, so that makes sense. Myrtlewood often has a really beautiful, almost iridescent sheen to it called chatoyance. I believe that's a term used in gemology as well, chatoyant. It's hard to see on camera. It's really hard to show that, but it gives a really good depth to the grain, if that's a good way to try to explain it. Also, if you're a woodworker, they sell bowl blanks and wood slabs and other raw materials, so you could very well end up loading some stuff up onto the top of your car and driving home with that and having some fun afterwards. Now, I gotta tell you, do double check that the Myrtlewood Factory Outlet, this particular store, is actually open before driving there, because I seem to recall that there was a sign on the building that the building was for sale while we visited. So do double check that. All right, our last stop on camera on this trip was the Cape Lookout State Park Campground on the beach. And I gotta tell you, we didn't actually spend much time here on this particular trip, because this was a long trip for us, but it's a lovely beach. It's a lovely place to stop, get out, go for a walk. There's campgrounds, of course, as the name implies. The beach is gorgeous. I mean, the Oregon coast is just beautiful. There are people hanging out on the beach. There are people hanging out just uphill from the beach, just having cookouts and chilling and having what was probably a little mini family reunion. And there's also some really nicely set out trails for going for a hike while you're there as well. Definitely check this place out. All right, so that's the last of the actual footage I've got from this part of the trip. But there was another stop that we made shortly after. What we did was we went from Cape Lookout and we just stayed on the coast. We took the coast down, or the coastal highway down, and we went through Lincoln City, we went through Newport, we had dinner in Newport, and then came back over to Corvallis in the Mid-Valley. Now, before we even got to Lincoln City, there was one more stop we made. It was the Jacobson Salt Company, which was this neat little place where they were literally processing salt right there on the premises and just selling various different flavors and shakers of salt, but I didn't have any camera battery left. So do check them out if you're in the area. And I gotta tell you, by the time we got back from Salt Company and then Lincoln City and then dinner in Newport, this was probably like a 12-hour day. I think we got back to Corvallis that night at something like 9 at night. So obviously, feel free to cherry pick and just do some of these activities on your own version of this Tillamook day, but we wanted to give some shout outs to fun options that we're aware of along the way. All right, so as always, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss more content, because come to think of it, we've got a video we're working on that's all about a Newport example Oregon outing too. So stay tuned for that. And of course, what we actually do for a living is help people buy and sell homes. So again, as always, I'm Michael Krasilovsky from Team K Realty out of Remax in Corvallis, Oregon. And if you want to be in touch with us, it is as simple as calling or emailing, and our contact info is on the slide at the end of the video. We love helping people buy and sell homes and become Oregonians, and it's fun being ambassadors for Oregon living in the process. So thanks for checking out our videos, and we hope to see you on the next one. Thanks, and bye for now.